Hey there, so today I want to talk about why I wish I was still a virgin. And I know I talk about intercourse and lust and stuff a lot on my channel, but that's because it's just such a big thing these days, and it affects me as well, because I think that it's one of the big things that would make the individual and the society happier. So let me explain why I wish I was still a virgin. First of all, I know that I used to be ashamed of being a virgin for a very long time, because that's the stigma these days, if you're a virgin you're a loser, you can't get anyone. But I think it's sad that that's the case, because I think sex should be regarded as something sacred, as something very special, because it is something very special. It's the highest stimulation we can get, basically, and it's the most intimate thing you can do with another person. And so to just use that as a recreational activity, I think is super sad. And I mean, you can see that everything, of course. The cuss words we use, the F words and stuff, we're taking something that used to be sacred, or used to be regarded as something more sacred. Obviously, people have always have had trouble with their lustful, their lustful desires. But those F words and stuff, you can see that people just use these things as cuss words, because we don't regard it as something sacred anymore as a society. And I think it is something very special. And for me, I have failed to control my lustful desires my entire life. And not that I've failed to control them my entire life, but I mean, I wish I would have been able to control them my entire life, because I would have still been a virgin then. But of course, you still have masturbation, pornography and stuff, which is also not control of your lustful desires. But so for me, about 4 or 5 years ago, I failed in withholding my virginity, and since then I haven't have had intercourse with anyone, nor will I have until I find that one single person I want to spend the rest of my life with. But I am very I used to be very regretful. I'm still regretful of doing that. I lost to curiosity and to lust. The reason why I'm still regretful, I mean, I've accepted it, of course. I'm not going to be harboring hatred towards myself. I've accepted it, and I know that I can now speak on this subject with that experience, which is still unfortunate. But when I talk to people about it, I can say, I've done that as well, so I have an extra perspective on it. Anyways, the reason why I regret it is because, first of all, I failed, so I wasn't able to control my desires, so I wasn't strong enough. And people will say, oh, but you were just having fun, you were having an experience. No, I was having that experience because I couldn't control my lustful desires. The only reason why I did it was because of curiosity and because of lustful desires. So you can say, yeah, but you wanted the experience. Yeah, my lustful desires wanted that experience. It is not something that I made the decision consciously, but if I really think about it, what are the things that we really want? Do we really want junk food? Do we really want intercourse? Do we really want hookups, pornography? No, what we really want is your career in your hobby, to be stronger, to be better, that's the things that we really, really want. We don't feel that way, or we don't see that, because those desires, or animalistic desires, are so in your face, and they're so overbearing sometimes. So let's get back to me, about my story, why I still want to be a virgin. I think when you save sex, or when you see it as something special and sacred, and you save it for one single person, and together as virgins, you both enter that relationship, I think that makes the bond between you two so much more stronger. And this is something that is not, it's rare these days to think about that, because these days it's just, just hook up, just have those fun, pleasurable experience, don't think about the future and holding yourself back and whatever. That's what today is about. Even though, imagine how special it would be if you both withhold yourself of indulging in those experiences, and then for that one person which you will spend the rest of your life with, it's not just a few years, no, it's the rest of your life. Imagine that bond being so strong. Isn't that an easy choice? What we're doing now is we're basically picking apart our youth because most people, they indulge in these things in their youth, in their 20s or whatever, and they just experiment, so to say it. But I think that's just idiotic. But they do that in the youth, and then in the long run, you know, when they finally settle down with a partner, which will last for, you know, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years with that partner, to just say, yeah, I will, because I believe you damage that relationship and your soul, yourself, when you hook up with people or have casual intercourse with people in your youth. So for me, it's a trade-off, you know. If you choose to have intercourse with casually and with random people whenever in your life, then the relationship afterward will not be as strong because of that. So you're basically making a trade-off, you're making a sacrifice, and I think it's an easy choice. With that person, with one person, not only will you spend the rest of your life with this person, if that's your intention at least, which most people do have, not only is that the case, but also this is the only person that will be as close to you as anyone. And to just say, I don't care about that, I will choose my animalistic, lustful desires over making my relationship with my future partner as special as it could be, then that's just, yeah, I don't see how you could ever make that decision. Of course, we don't really make that decision because I failed as well. I made that decision as well, even though I would never do it now. That's because I didn't know any better back then. Well, I didn't know that it's not admirable to hook up, of course. I didn't know that. I didn't know it unconsciously as well, and I knew it consciously, but I just lost to my desires. And and that's why society is so important to that people are aware of what the sacrifice it is, what sacrifice it is you're making by casual sex. Because most people, they just don't know. They think it's pleasurable experiences. They know, but you can still feel that there's something not quite right about it. Everyone knows that there's something. Is it okay? Is it cool? Everyone thinks it's something cheeky. You know, you still have that ingrained in your moral compass. You know, that if you hook up, that's something. It's something cheeky. It's something. You know, we know that it's in our system. And so that's why I was, I still hesitated, you know, back then when I failed, but I still failed in the end, as most people do nowadays. But that's why I think it should be discussed, that it's good to know, to keep it to yourself, to keep your lustful desires in control, and just to save yourself for that one person you spent the rest of your life with, because then it will be so much more stronger, so much more special to you know, to enter that sexual relationship with that partner together, and then together grow in that, instead of, you know, having all these external things just for your lustful desires, just for your pleasures. It's not, yeah, it's just not a trade-off that is, it's not a balanced trade-off. You know, I think it's just the one fulfilling long-term thing is 10 times better, more special thing than the hookup. Because one more thing that I want to add is, of course, that the relationship that you enter with that one person for the rest of your life is obviously not a casual relationship. It's something that you become so close to this person because you will live with them, will probably have children with them. The relationship is so much more tight than just random people which you hook up with. That relation will never be that close. So why would you waste your soul on those people, you know? And you might say, okay, but you're not. But when I hook up, you know, I don't have any lasting damage of it afterwards. I don't care. Well, you might not sense it consciously, but unconsciously you definitely are impacted. You know, why do you think it's such a stimulating? It's so stimulating intercourse. There's a reason for it, and when you share it with other people, you know, I feel like there's two things that happen, and I've had many friends who disagree with this, but I think either you hurt yourself or the other person while you have intercourse with a random person, or casual intercourse at least, like not within the confines of a relationship. Like either someone gets hurt or you become a bit cold or a bit like if you are not hurt from it, that means you have emotionally distanced yourself from intercourse with that person. It's only lustful, it's only pleasurable, it's not emotionally invested. And what happens then is you have had this incredibly stimulating experience with a person, and you've emotionally distanced yourself from the experience. What happens when you do that? Well, I don't think that's a good. I think if you do that often and in a long often, and you keep doing it, I think then you will change. You become more cold and more bitter, perhaps. But I've seen this with one friend of mine as well, who was doing this for a period. felt like you really became more cold. And not only that, there are many more consequences, like seeing these people more as, you know, as meat instead of actual human beings. There are many more consequences. But if you just hook up randomly, like I did that one time, you know, I had casual intercourse, you know, that one time I failed, you know, 4 years ago. I do for that as impact because you're engaging someone. You know, they say your body remembers, you know, and I think that's also the case. You know, there's a reason why people who are abused, why it has such an impact on them. It's the same with if you just have casual sex. You know, it has an impact on you whether you feel it consciously or not. So that's what I'm trying to say. I wish I still was a virgin because, yeah, I would enter that relationship more pure and more clean, I guess you could say. Mentally clean, bodily clean, you know, it would just be better. But I can't turn back time and I will accept it. But I would advise to think about this. Yeah, that's it. So bye bye.